The NBA season is officially back, and the first week was nothing short of pure chaos. Draymond Green got a technical foul in his very first game, the Clippers debuted the best arena in the league, the Miami Heat revealed the worst statue I've ever seen in my life, and the Raptors beat the Sixers in a game where both teams shot a combined 99 free throws. Yeah, let's just get straight into it. The Celtics started off with a blowout win over the New York Knicks. However, it was a little overshadowed by the fact that the Celtics tied the NBA record for the most threes in a game with almost an entire quarter left to break it, and they absolutely choked. Regardless, they look just as dangerous as last season and are doing it without Kristaps. They went 3-0 over the first week, mainly thanks to Jason Tatum, who's coming for the MVP trophy after not getting many minutes at the Olympics. He averaged 33 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists over those 3 games. The Knicks lost their season opener, but bounced right back with a big win over the Pacers. 4 different players on the Knicks scored over 20 points, and they showed just how good their new offense can look. The Lakers also got a win on opening night against the Timberwolves, which is their first season opener win since 2016, and in the same night we witnessed the first father-son duo in NBA history. But their hot streak didn't end there. The Lakers are one of 4 teams to be 3-0 after the first week and have beat multiple contenders in the West. They even broke the Kings and Sabonis curse. The Kings swept the Lakers last season, and Sabonis was 10-0 against Anthony Davis going into that game. LeBron at age 63 dropped a 30-point triple-double, and Anthony Davis is coming for both MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Plus, JJ Redick actually looks like a really good coach so far, and I just made a full video about them the other day, so check that out too. The Cavaliers and the Thunder are the other 2 teams that are still undefeated. The Cavs have faced some of the worst teams in the league, but you play who's in front of you. They have such a nice, well-rounded roster. When Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are both on, then they're next to impossible to guard. Plus, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are both looking really good. The Thunder look actually unbelievable. Shea is yet again in MVP form, and they have by far one of the best teams in the entire league. But what stuck out to me the most is Chet Holmgren, who's already putting himself in the very early Defensive Player of the Year race. Over the first 3 games, Chet is averaging over 20 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks a game. He showed how good he can be defensively last year, but he's taking it to a whole nother level. And the Thunder are dominating while still missing Hartenstein, who will make an already great team even better. The Warriors started off 2-0 after going undefeated in the preseason before losing a close game to the Clippers. Their offense with their new additions look really good. Andrew Wiggins has been great on both sides of the floor, and Buddy Hield was almost averaging 25 points a game off the bench before shooting pie against the Clippers. The loss of Klay Thompson hasn't appeared to slow them down one bit. And speaking of the Clippers, they look way better than a lot of people were expecting. James Harden has been incredible and is leading the team despite Kawhi being hurt. Norman Powell is averaging over 20 points, including a 37-point game and a win over the Nuggets where he shot almost 70% from the field. Plus, Zubac is literally putting up all-star caliber numbers right now. And you can't talk about the Clippers without mentioning their new arena. The Intuit Dome not only looks amazing, but they have a section strictly for fans that want to go crazy called The Wall. And that wall has already made multiple players miss free throws that they would usually make. It's actually really impressive. The Atlanta Hawks currently have a record of 2-1, and Trae Young is quickly becoming one of the most underrated players in the league. He's averaging almost 30 points and 10 assists a game so far, and Dyson Daniels is already making a huge impact on his new team. The Phoenix Suns are also 2-1 and got some pretty big wins over the Clippers and the Mavericks. Even in their loss against the Lakers, they showed how basically everyone on the team can knock down threes. They made 21 of their first 30 shots in that game, and at one point made 9 straight threes. But the real MVP is Kevin Durant, who's averaging almost 30 points while playing 40 minutes a game at 36 years old. The 76ers started their season off with Joel Embiid announcing that he'll be out for the first week of the season and that he doesn't want to play a back-to-back for the rest of his career. And with Paul George hyperextending his knee, Tyrese Maxey has been leading the way. He even scored 45 points against the Pacers to give them their first win. The season just started, but the Pistons are already doing Pistons things. They committed a violation that has only happened 7 other times in the play-by-play era. They actually got called for having too many players on the court. They literally had 6 players on the court and they didn't even notice. They may be 0-3, but it really does feel like they're close to figuring it out. Cade Cunningham is on pace for his first All-Star season, averaging 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists a game. Him and Jaden Ivey are both getting better every single time they play. The Hornets aren't off to the best start, but a healthy LaMelo Ball has been absolutely dominating. He's averaging 32, 7, and 7, while Tre Mann has also been playing really well while looking like he's straight out of the early 2000s. And speaking of balls, Alonzo has made his official NBA return for the first time since the 2021-22 season. Despite being 1-2, the Bulls have been playing pretty well, with big games coming from both Zach LaVine and Kobe White. The Spurs debuted their new big-time free agent, Harrison Barnes. And Chris Paul, I guess. Wembanyama is still an alien doing alien things, and the CP3 to Wemby connection is already there. Stephon Castle is also looking pretty solid while Devin Vassell is out. The Kings also debuted a new star player in DeMar DeRozan, who scored the most points in a Kings debut in over 30 years. They still play their run and gun style of offense, and despite being 0-2 should be just fine. The Pacers have also started off up and down, mostly due to Tyrese Halliburton's struggles. Tyrese started the first 2 games 1 for 16 from 3 and then blamed it on taking naps before the games. However, in their 3rd game against the Sixers, he played a lot better, so definitely no more pre-game naps. And then James Wiseman tore his Achilles in the very first game of the season, which absolutely sucks for him and the Pacers. The Nuggets have been struggling as well, starting off 0-2. Jokic has been extremely good per usual, but their depth, especially off the bench, has struggled a lot. The Mavericks are 1-1 and have shown that they could be even better than the team they took all the way to the finals last year. Luka is still Luka. I mean, in just his 2nd game of this season, he put up 40 points and 10 rebounds. The addition of Klay Thompson has gone as good as you could hope for, and Derek Lively is becoming a bigger and bigger piece of the offense every time he comes in. The Brooklyn Nets aren't going to be very good this season, but don't be surprised if Cam Thomas leads the entire league in scoring. There's nothing he loves to do more than shoot, and with not very many other big names on the roster, he gets to do that a lot. He's already averaging 30 points in his first 3 games. Also, Nick Claxton managed to get ejected in the very first game of the season. The Timberwolves didn't look the best in their first matchup against the Lakers, but they've put it together ever since. Julius Randle didn't have the best game 1, and of course everyone clowned him for it. But then the very next game, Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards became the first pair of Timberwolves teammates to each score 30 points with 5 made 3-pointers and a win. So that spacing isn't looking like as much of an issue as people thought. The Pelicans are 2-1 as well and are actually looking pretty solid. Unfortunately though, their big new addition, DeJounte Murray, already broke his hand and will miss the next 4 to 6 weeks. Brandon Ingram has started off pretty hot, including a game-winning shot against the Blazers, which led to a game-sealing block from Zion. And second-year player Jordan Hawkins could be an early candidate for the most improved player. The Magic are 2-1 and look like they're taking that next step, although that loss to the Grizzlies was pretty ugly. Paolo is looking to have another all-star caliber season, and Franz Wagner is literally right there with him. Paolo even joined Shaq and T-Mac as the only players to record 30 points and 10 rebounds in a season opener, which is only fitting. Ja Morant has returned for the Grizzlies and is getting right back to where he was. Plus, multiple other players on the team have stepped up. Zach Edey hasn't made the biggest impact despite a really good preseason and even fouled out in his debut in just 14 minutes. Terry Rozier is currently leading the Heat in points, and were kinda quiet until he revealed the new Dwyane Wade statue, or whoever that is. The Rockets haven't started off the best, but Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun have been the clear leaders, so it makes sense that both of them just received an extension. Damian Lillard and Giannis have both started off pretty well for the Bucks despite having a 1-2 record. They're both averaging 25 points a game, but like the Nuggets, their depth is one of the biggest things in question. And that really about wraps up the week for almost every team. Anthony Davis won Western Conference Player of the Week, while Jason Tatum won it in the East. But the last thing I want to mention for this week is the rookies. Nobody in the entire class so far is averaging more than 10 points. It's still early, so things could easily change, but it's something I'll definitely be keeping an eye on. None of the top picks are really making a lot of noise, and the Rookie of the Year race will be super interesting. But let me know down in the comments what you think about week 1 in the NBA, and please leave a like on the video to support the channel. Also, subscribe if you're new for more basketball videos just like this one.